Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Rogues Gallery Live. Said everyone, welcome to Rogues Gallery Live. I'm Chris the Batman Statue Collector, and joined with me this week we have Dan, the moving man from Wayne Manor North. How's it going, sir?
I am indeed the moving man. It is good to be here. I am still vertical at this time of day, which normally I've been dead tired by this time of day. So this is a nice break from moving activity for sure.
All right, well, we'll get into that a little bit more here in just a second. We also have Mr. Jeff Delaney from Secret Sanctuary. How's it going, sir?
Doing very well. Good to be here. Looking forward to a great show.
Glad to have you here. I can't remember if Eric is going to join us. I can't remember if he said he couldn't make it or if Jeff might be working too. So I'm not sure who is all going to join us tonight. So people might randomly.
No.
Eric said no. Okay, so people might randomly pop in. We'll see. But it might just be us. We'll kind of wait and find out. I want to thank the 80 people already in here watching with us tonight. Welcome to the show. Again, this is Rogues Gallery Live 124. We have a lot to talk about tonight. I've got a couple of topics that the community suggested that we talk about tonight. We've got a ton of photos to look at. I do want to apologize for not having a show last Wednesday. So Jeff and I talked a little bit about this on Saturday night when we did our live stream with Jeff Morris. But anyway, basically I was supposed to fly in from Anaheim Wednesday night, be in time basically for the show, and our flight got bumped, which was great because we ended up with an extra day at Disneyland. So that was fantastic. And basically we got to come back the next day. So I basically missed the show. So we had to bump it back 1 week. So anyway, thanks everybody for sticking with us. I also want to take the top of the show here to remind, or I got to remind myself here, this guy right here, happy birthday, sir. Happy birthday. How was it yesterday?
It was good. We went to Disneyland and it was hotter than hell.
Yes.
So we spent about half day there, but we're going back on Sunday.
Nice. Well, I can't remember if we talked about this on Sunday, but we found out that like the evening hours are really, for us, was like we had so much more success going in the evening than in the middle of the day because it got so hot. Like it just feels like it's unseasonably hot right now. Is it?
Yeah. Yesterday was about 90 at Disneyland.
Whew.
Sunday's supposed to be actually a little bit worse. It's supposed to be 94.
Yeah, of course.
We're going to go really early when they first open, and we'll just see how long we last.
And they only have one water ride open right now to cool you off. And so we did take advantage of that. We rode that ride over at DCA, which was fun. But
that's cool.
Man, so what was your favorite thing you did for your birthday yesterday? What was favorite ride? Favorite moment?
We only did a couple of rides. We just probably my favorite thing was lunch.
Where'd you eat?
I like to go to the Jolly Holiday Bakery. They have this, they call it a beef birria sandwich.
Oh, okay. I have to say this.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing in the world is birria tacos.
Yeah.
I could eat those every single day. And after we got back, I found out that there are 3 different things you can have at Disneyland that are birria. That is one, the birria grilled cheese.
Yeah. Number
2, they have a birria taco over at DCA.
Okay.
Cocina Cocamonga, I think is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And now they have a ramen one where it's like ramen with the consomme and the birria inside with an egg. And everybody says how good it is.
Right. Yeah.
So you might need one of those too, but I'm so jealous that you got the birria because like I found out after the fact, I'm like, crap.
Yeah, I've done it like 10 times. I really, really like it. And it was really surprising because the park seemed crowded, but the lines for food were short. So normally I wait like a half an hour just to place an order at the bakery. And it was just kind of walk right up yesterday, which was kind of cool.
So we experienced that too. We did. We like to eat at the Plaza. That's one of our favorite places. Fried chicken and mashed potatoes, and we just walked right up. And even the quick service, like back in Star Wars, there was no line at all. It was really strange, but
right. I really like the Monte Cristo at Cafe Orleans.
That's what I get. That's what we had. I had that.
Yeah. But my wife and my father-in-law have a lot of dietary restrictions, and they can't really eat there. So we figured out if we go to the bakery, people can get whatever they want, and we'll meet up at the bakery.
Nice.
You know, so my father-in-law goes to the Bengal barbecue to get the
skewers.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it all works out. So, and
That's
it's
great.
a really good place to eat. The view is really cool. You got the castle right there, and you can people watch, and it's really fun.
Well, that's a really great tip about just kind of coming together at one place. You don't have to necessarily order from there. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm sorry that we've completely segued to food right off the bat on the show. But anyway, again, welcome everybody. I hope everybody's doing good. We mentioned Dan right here is moving. Obviously, you can see that he's got a very naked wall.
So everybody in the chat, sorry guys, I just turned on chat on my phone. I left my iPad upstairs, so I didn't have chat on. So hello to everybody. And yes, my walls are naked.
The days at Wayne Manor North are numbered
in a big way. Yeah, they sure are. We are.
Do you want to tell anybody about your move or kind of like what you have planned?
Yeah, so we are moving south, and my friend here behind me is a little bit of a hint as to where we're moving. But we'll be rebranding Wayne Manor, and that will be happening probably. Well, we probably won't be full-time there until just after the first of the year, but Wayne Manor North will likely be sold in the next couple of weeks.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's a huge deal.
And when do you have your first showing?
First showing is a week from Friday.
Nice.
Yep. So we have to be, we're doing all those real estate things that you have to do and, getting the house ready, and it's a major chore. And holy cow, packing statues, least favorite part of the hobby by far. Oh my God.
I tell you, we were talking just before the show, and I apologize. We were a couple minutes late. I didn't even realize we were just talking, but it is amazing how hard it is if you have a large, or even medium collection, of how hard it is to pack statues away. It's a ton of work. It's a ton of stress. I'm assuming did you just move all yours to your garage?
So some of you may remember from video, we do have a 2-car garage in the house, and we also have a garage and a half, or detached kind of barn situation at the bottom of our driveway. So so I've got an antique car in there, and then along one side I have all my statue boxes all lined up. I bought big, giant, fragile stickers.
Fragile.
I bought a roll of 500 of them for like $7, and I just slapped them like on all 6 sides of each box of a fragile sticker. So I went kind of haywire, but so those are all ready to go. I think it's going to be probably the driving cost factor in my move. Are you hiring a mover then to move all of it then? Yeah, that's smart. If you can do it, we did it. It was expensive, but it was worth every penny. We have to. So just to share with the chat too. So we're actually moving to an area called Madison, Alabama. So it's about 90 minutes south of Nashville. So it's at the very top of Alabama, and it is it's kind of the biggest suburb and really a part of the Huntsville area where the primary R&D is done for all of the space. So the mission to the moon, the mission to Mars, all of the rocket technology developed for those missions is in Huntsville.
That's
so
awesome.
One of the things I'm really looking forward to that I want to do as a side project, because I've kind of always been a NASA geek, is I want to learn to be a tour guide. So NASA's museum is there, and I want to be a tour guide there.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that on weekends or something. But
that'd be awesome.
That's super fun.
That is fun.
Absolutely, definitely love to do that. So so that's the thing. So should I announce the name? So the name. Yeah. So the name, and I'll have branding for it and everything, but it's going to be Wayne Manor, Rocket City.
Nice.
Yep.
Wayne Manor, Rocket City, which is awesome. I love it. And we were also talking about the show about how incredibly important it is to keep your boxes.
Oh my God.
Tell people why.
Oh my God, guys, keep your boxes. Sucks. I mean, I don't have a count. I think I have around now quarter scale and third scale. I think I have somewhere in the neighborhood of in the high 20s, right? So it's 25 to 30 statues. So not a ton by any stretch, But let me tell you, boxing those statues, no party. I can't even imagine doing it without the boxes.
Yeah.
Even across town would be a nightmare.
I simply can't imagine. It was bad enough having the boxes. The multi-piece or multi-component pieces, statues, if you will, like the White Knight was by far the worst.
Oh, that'd be I dread moving that thing.
Yeah, it's no picnic whatsoever. Batman Hush, simply from a weight standpoint, is a kind of a headache. Joker, Tweeterhead's quarter scale Joker, because the weight of the base, it just is brutal.
Yep.
Worse than actually packaging up the statues, I have to tell you, the worst part for me is taking the box, like taking the art box out of the shipper, because they all have that vacuum effect.
Yep.
You know, so just getting the boxes opened up is a giant pain. And then, of course, it makes the mess because you get those foam pieces all over. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but, you know, it's, yeah. But at the end, though, Chris, trying to do this with, you know, bubble wrap and packing peanuts, forget it. You'd have piles of broken polystone.
Yeah.
Right.
So again, if you are new to the hobby and just listening to this for the first time, or if you've been, you know, collecting for 20 years, some of you say, "Oh, I don't care. I'm never going to sell. I just rip up my boxes. I don't need them." Life happens. Dan didn't, maybe a year ago, Dan didn't, I bet you didn't know you were moving, right?
What's that? Oh, no.
You know, so you're probably like, "Oh, you probably can get rid of your boxes. You're not going anywhere." But guess what? If you're buying and selling, if you're ever going to get new statues and replacing because you don't have a lot of space, or if you're just, life happens and you need to move across town or across the world, these boxes were designed to protect your items. So I can't stress it enough. Again, having gone through something similar a couple years ago with what Dan did, you know, moving all, and I have way more now than I did then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's, you know, we've been contemplating the move for a couple of years, and I really appreciate all the kind comments, guys, in the chat. Let me just say thank you. Huge thank you to everybody. It's been a big, giant decision. I'm going to be 55 next month, and this will be the first time that I've ever lived outside of New England. So this is, it's a big deal. I really appreciate all the support, but actually at the end of the day, moving as kind of a semi-retirement move. So, yep, going to try and pull off the accelerator a little bit on the career side.
Well, that is awesome. That's you're living the dream. And now you maybe get to be a tour guide. So there you go.
Exactly.
I mean, it's way better than like Walmart greeter. I mean, right? I mean, just, you know, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I have to give a shout out real quick to Matt Martin, 1999 super chat, supporting the Bat Bunker. Thank you very much, Mr. Martin. I really appreciate it very, very much. Just to give everybody an update, I told the guys this. I was spent almost the entire day. It was my last day before I went back to work. I went back to work today, and I spent almost the entire day painting and laying on the concrete floor. I looked like Beetlejuice at one point because I've got so much dust and crap all over the floor. But I got all of the ceiling painted, at least for the most part. It was a ceiling paint that went on pink, and then it dried. But it was like the lightest color pink you can ever imagine. So then you couldn't really tell where you had been. So it was awful. If you can ever hire someone to spray a ceiling or something, I suggest that, because I just rolled it by hand. But anyway, I got all of the back of the cabinets done. And so now the next step is to do the walls and the trim. And then I'll have the bunker painted, which is pretty exciting. So they're finishing up the inner cove in the next couple of days, and then flooring will start going in. So pretty crazy. But anyway, thank you very much again. Anybody that does super chats here on the show, I roll it right over into that Bat Bunker project. So thank you guys very, very much. And Matt, congratulations. If you are a member of our Facebook group, he posted a great photo of his new Jock commission. So congratulations on that. I'm still waiting for mine. Apparently he hasn't even started mine yet. So fingers crossed, I'll get that in the next couple weeks. But anyway, congratulations, Matt, and thank you very much for the super chat. So thank you very, very much. That was awesome. Let's see. Everybody's saying congrats to Dan. Happy birthday to Jeff. Let me see here. Oh, there's another. Oh, Matt Martin became a member for 5 months. Reboxing the Tech 1000 sucks. Yes, it does. But I would imagine, to me, I think the thing that would be the hardest to move would be the White Knight.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so many pieces.
So you had to unscrew the cape?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Oh, he's right back in the 2 boxes he came in, and the base, weighs a ton. And yeah, so, and my thing is too, so we haven't bought a new place yet. So I don't even know what my space is going to look like. It will be at least as big as what I'm in. But again, another little sneak peek is the homes we're looking at typically have they call bonus rooms down there. And it's the ones that I've been looking at, they're usually somewhere around 22 by 24, somewhere in there. So it could potentially be a much larger space.
That's awesome. Do you think that you would try to do the same type of aesthetic in that room?
Aesthetic, yes. Layout,
who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, but aesthetic, yeah.
Like bonus room, like in Kansas, usually bonus rooms are rooms above garages. Is that kind of what it is there too?
That's what it would be. So the homes we're looking at are single story, right? So they're 1 floor. But down there, everything's on a slab. I heard Jeff mention, I think it was a replay the other night where he said, "I'm in California. We have slabs and no attics."
Yeah.
And so these homes have attics, but are on slabs. So no basement like I'm used to. But everything on 1 floor, and then a bonus room over the garage typically.
It's awesome.
If we can, we'll see.
If you can, as I say, fingers crossed for you. That'd be. Yeah. I know you're probably hoping and looking for that particular space.
It'd be a nice have, but my wife has things that she's interested in, and there are other parts of the house, of course, that we have to prioritize. So we'll see.
Yep, that's awesome.
It will at least be this. I need a home office, so it'll at least be something like this, which for people, if you've watched the videos, you see it's like what is it, 15 by 18 or something.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Give a shout out to CC real quick. So we were talking about the Jock commission. CC, did you get yours in the mail this week? I was curious if they sent them out. They said that they got 5 in. Mine was not one of them. I'm hoping yours is one that they sent out. So let us know, because she was also waiting to pick one up from Jock at the convention. I was telling you guys earlier, it's like frustrating because whenever you are told, hey, you got to pick it up at the show, you have to be there in person to get it. And then we're there to get it. And, we're beholden to the artist, obviously, but I guess I'd rather him take his time if it's going to be awesome. So
Dan, in the middle of that whole process of boxing all those up, was there a moment where you thought, why do I collect this stuff?
Oh my God. A moment? 6 statues in going, what am I, an idiot? Oh my God. A moment. That was like, by the moment kind of thing.
What in the world?
Oh,
I had to show you in person here, kind of.
That's just unbelievable. Chris, can I ask you, did you deal with Jason on that piece? Jason Schechter?
Let me look. Hold on.
I have a call with him tomorrow morning to talk to him about New York.
Let's see here. For Jock, if anybody's interested, my contact with Jock was Lissy.
Yeah.
At Comic Sketch Art. It started out as somebody else, but then it moved to her.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's okay.
If you're going to have to keep looking. I was going to say my contact was Nicholas. I'll show you this. I don't know if you saw it the other night on the show.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Rice.
Right. I think I looked at that piece at MegaCon, Chris.
Oh, they had it there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it actually shipped from him. Like he had these all personally at his house, and I got it, and I got an art print, and then this. I thought it was really cool because he said I'll have to contact him, and he has to ship it from Brazil or wherever.
That's awesome. Yeah, he had like an art portfolio that had essentially the whole book, where and you could see there were a handful at that point, not that many pages where they had sold, mm-hmm. but the rest were all still in there, and obviously including that one. But I did look at that. I thought it was a great page as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, what's new other than moving, recovering from birthdays and San Diego Comic-Con? Anything else new going on this week for you guys? Anything coming in?
Well, I'm waiting for Captain Marvel from Sideshow, and I'm waiting for Captain Kirk from Sideshow, which both still show as July shipping dates, but no notification yet.
Have you seen, Jeff? Have you seen production pics of Kirk?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
Well, the pics were crappy.
Yeah.
But,
Shocking, right? Shocking.
yeah, I think he looks good. That there was one close up of like his midsection and his hand.
Yeah.
And the detail on like the pores on his hand was excellent.
Oh, cool.
And then the texturing on his clothing was really, really good.
Yeah.
So, but I can't tell because I can tell it's got a fisheye thing going on. I can't tell how close the likeness is.
Gotcha.
Well, the other ones have been decent.
Yeah, I've been very happy with the other two.
Yeah, I would imagine this would be just at that same level.
Yeah.
Ryan says, I wonder if Dan thought about selling any pieces that he boxed up because it would be a good time if you were packing it up. Anyway, it's a good point. Did you consider any that you'd be like, I can get rid of this one?
I would love to say yes, but no. I really would. I don't really have anything in my collection right now that I'm looking to part with. Everything is boxed exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is.
I kind of like Jeff alluded to, where I just threw up my hands and was like, "Oh my god, I just want to sell the whole collection." Comic books and art on the wall is much easier to collect than
not necessarily as cheap though.
No,
which is what I'm finding out.
Yeah. Oh, you're in full tilt overdrive, my friend.
I told Jeff on Saturday, I'm like, I've got to be on a spending freeze.
I heard you say that. And I'm like, but I've heard you say that for weeks now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've spent so much on, but it's like, I feel like going to San Diego, and I don't know how many times I'll be able to go. And so I'm like, I just feel like that was the opportunity to get art from the artists,
Right.
Same thing with New York. I feel like, there's only so many opportunities where you get to see some of these big names. David Finch doesn't go to every show. He does go to the larger shows. Jason Fabok's going to be in New York. So I'm attempting to arrange something for that. I've been in contact with him quite a bit lately, so we'll see. But anyway, it's a lot, but yeah, not always cheaper. Although if you get art prints and stuff, those are pretty affordable at times.
Affordable, but yeah.
But speaking of art prints, CC chimes in, Chris, my Jock commission was dropped off at USPS. I got tracking today. Okay, that's good. So you were one of the 5. That's good, at least. I don't know when I'm going to get mine, but we'll see. So Dan, did you ever say if you're getting anything new?
I have, I've got a custom that is due. I don't know if you want me to say or not, but I've got a custom that's due supposedly to ship this month. I've got
the punchline.
Yeah. That's supposed to ship at some point this month. What's the other one? I think one, and I don't recall which one, but one of the 2 Prime 1, the Batman statues, I believe is supposed to start shipping either this month or next.
The artist edition one?
I think it's that one. Yeah.
I think so too.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm surprised more people don't have that one yet. Because there have been some Asian collectors, obviously, that have had them. And I'm surprised that the Robert Pattinson one hasn't started shipping, because we saw that at San Diego a year ago. So I don't know. They have started cranking them out. I got my shipping notification for Batman Triumphant. That's the one on the tower. And
how fast was that?
Fast.
Wow.
And yesterday I got the shipping that's shipping soon for the Penguin. So, those two go together. I don't know. Like, I just can't believe they're already shipping so close. I mean, the ESs were announced a little bit smaller. So that's good. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm not going to review it for you guys, but I'll show you just kind of what's back here. Little teaser. Awesome. So that's what I got in today.
What's the edition size?
60.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think mine's like 48 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
The other one that I don't know how many folks in the chat have is on order, that I feel like XM has just like ghosted everybody on, is the Robin King.
I don't remember, we talked about it on another show, but I feel like it's just been really quiet from them in general. Like,
yep.
I just feel like there hasn't been a lot of like bells and whistles. There's been a few things that have been shown, but I feel like shipping stuff, it's just been really, really slow, like just crickets.
Crickets, yeah.
Kind of like Queen Studios.
Yeah. And that's like, you know, we met John in San Diego for the first time, and you know, they've had to kind of pull back, and they've had to kind of slow down and reassess some things, which is, you know, I think everybody's having to do right now. But I don't know, I feel like
concerning that, can I clear up a incorrect rumor?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a rumor flying around that Queen Studios lost the Marvel license. And I talked to John about it. And the truth is, they gave up the Marvel license for this year only. My understanding is they have every intention of returning to it in 2024, but they had done the characters that the Avengers characters that they wanted to do already. And so they decided to just give it up for 1 year. They did not lose it. They gave it up, but they're going to get it back.
It does. And I don't remember if we talked about this after we talked to him, but it does make me a little bit nervous with that statement, just because I feel like if you have something, you paid a price for it, you're having to continue to pay a price for it. But then if you give it up, I worry that price will go up a lot, and then they'll be like, you know, it's just, especially
but why pay the license for a year if you're not going to use it?
Well, that's very true.
You
And
know?
again, I just feel like the companies, I mean, even with San Diego, a lot of companies didn't come to save money.
Right.
You know, for the booth and everything else. And Queen Studios might be doing the same thing. They're trying to save some money, retooling it, putting the money towards something else,
Exactly.
other licenses and things like that. And so I still have continued confidence in them and what they're doing. I just feel like, again, they're kind of slowing down. I feel like just like other companies, but we're seeing that from everybody.
Yep.
So it is interesting though. It is interesting, but yeah, you brought up XM. It feels like, especially from them, it's just been real kind of quiet. Even like my Samurai Scarecrow, like he was really late to ship. I'm trying to think, like I was one of the first people to get one, but I had to contact them and ask. I was like, is it shipping soon? Is it coming? And then as soon as I did that, they sent it to me.
So Fred Hollis in the chat wants to know the best thing we saw at Comic-Con. What was the best thing, Chris? Other than me, of course. What was the best thing?
And I'm gonna reiterate what I said on Saturday. It's like my favorite part was hanging out with you, just meeting people, walking the floor, just that sort of thing. Like I really enjoyed that. I think my most frustrating part was the commissions, because it was mostly me waiting in lines for hours and then not getting it. Right. And that's really annoying because I could have been doing other things. So that was frustrating for me. But I think when it comes to like product, when it comes to like actually things on the show floor, I mentioned this the other day. I really liked the shredder. I thought that was really cool. The Ninja Turtle shredder. I thought he looked fantastic in person. Just the PCS booth in general. A number of pieces from Iron Studios was cool. I don't know. I keep going back to Shredder. I thought that was really cool. That giant, was it Akuma? Is that his name?
Yep.
That was really cool. The big Thanos was neat. I consider that piece a weenie, kind of like what they call Disney, like the castle's the weenie, the thing that draws you in. I feel like that was just there just to say, "Woo, look at me," that sort of thing. I don't think what are they going to make 5 of them? Well,
you saw they're releasing a 10th scale.
Well, yeah, 10 scale will sell a lot more than the giant quarter scale, but it was pretty crazy. But that was probably my favorite thing. What about you?
The best thing I saw, I don't think I even mentioned this to you, was a Superman number 15, which is a blue cover. That'd be like 1942, 1941, 1942. It's a blue cover, and there's a lighthouse, and Superman is flying towards the lighthouse, and there's something else is going on. But anyway, there's a problem with that particular issue where almost every single copy has 2 white stripes kind of light across the cover. It looks like they had been strapped down, and when the straps came off, it left lines. But every copy has that, except one copy that I saw at Comic-Con coming up in an auction pretty quick, and it's a 9.0. and it's going to go for a ton of money, but it was a beautiful comic. Really, really awesome.
That's cool.
I'd love to bid on that one, but I think it's going to go for more than I'm willing to part with.
Well, just seeing those books in person and being able to, obviously we held a few, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I showed this off the other day. I've got to show it to everybody that's watching.
It's awesome.
That's unbelievable, man. That is huge.
So if you're just watching, this is the Batman #1 from 1940. This is page 2, aka 3.
It's 3.
It's 3.
How is it? Can you explain? I heard this. You say this in the replay of Saturday. How is that? Can you explain the 3 thing?
So when you open up a Batman #1, the first page and then the back of the first page, which is page 2, are a retelling of the origin of Batman. And then page 3, that one begins the first story.
There's another great splash page of Batman from the same book. Is that page 1?
Yeah.
And then you flip it and it's got the backstory, and then this is actually page 3. So why do you think that they called this page 2?
I have no idea. It's the second wrap of the book, but it's not page 2. It's page 3 for sure.
That's interesting.
Isn't that in with a hardcover book called A Leaf? Right? Wouldn't that be A Leaf?
A leaf is a wrap. So yeah. So if a Golden Age comic back then, they were 68 pages. So that would be like 16 wraps.
Okay, got it.
No, 32 wraps. Wait,
Plus
16, because you've got the front and back of both sides.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that a leaf is the same as a wrap. So very often you'll find a coverless comic with the first wrap missing, or the centerfold will be missing. And because of that, you're really losing 4 pages and you're not losing just 1.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
That makes sense.
Theodore wants to know, Dan, are you getting the Prime 1 Penguin?
I am not. I am going with the Sideshow Penguin.
You cannot go wrong with either one.
No, I don't believe so either. I was pleasantly surprised by the Sideshow Penguin. I think there were a lot of people. So
I think I like that one better between the two. Yeah. I just think he's awesome. And being able to see him at Sideshow Con in a little bit more detail, kind of, in person, so to speak. That was really awesome. I think it's going to be a very sought after piece. And the ES was it 500?
No, I think it's 15.
Oh, 1,500. It was a lot.
Yeah, Jeff, I think you said 15 when
that sounds right then.
Because it matched Scarecrow and Mr. Freeze.
Which is great. So obviously he's done pretty well for them.
Yeah. Universally praised.
Yeah, it's awesome.
A great price point.
Good price. Yep, good price point. Obviously I also ordered Ivy. Dan, did you order Ivy?
I ordered the 250 limited, the last one.
That one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I've got both coming, so I'm not going to be able to keep both. I don't think so. We'll see. You'll have to make a tough choice.
I love the new one too, but I love that first one, that real small run one as well.
Yeah, it's more of a classic.
Kind of classic, kind of pinup, and I'm a sucker for the pinup style.
Yeah.
So I like that one.
That'll be awesome. Before we get to topics, I did want to announce, I mentioned to these guys some exciting news that we got yesterday, and I just kind of wanted to announce it tonight. I thought it was going to be kind of cool. So we are going to get a new rogue here on the show, or a semi-rogue every once in a while. But we reached out, and this person has agreed to come on the show as often as she can. But we're going to be welcoming Susan. Susan is going to join us right here on the Rogues Gallery. And so, I had a good conversation with her, off camera, and she still feels very connected, and she still collects. She still buys statues and things for her own collection. And I would love to see her get back into the game because I feel like there's a lot of people that really still love and care about her. And I just feel like she's one of us. And so, yeah, she was thrilled and honored. She's like, I don't want to step on any toes. I'm like, no, we all would love to have you on. And so, she's going to come on as often as she can. She's obviously busy with other things too, but you'll get to see her more often here on Rogues Gallery Live. So we're really excited about that. What do you guys think about that news?
That's awesome.
She's going to fit in really well, I think.
I think so too. It'll be really great. And so again, just add a little bit of more variety. We'll still have, our normal crew on the show, but we'll have her on as often as we can. So
I thought she was replacing Eric.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. We've been trying to get rid of him for years. Mr. All Things Art, I tell you. No, seriously, Eric is not going anywhere except for this show, obviously. But anyway, we're excited to have Susan on the show. So that she wasn't able to make this show tonight, but I think she's going to be on the next show 2 weeks from tonight. So that'll be awesome. So there you go. If you are, Kristen Logan says who? So Susan was a big part of Sideshow for a really long time. I don't know. What would you say? A perfect spokesperson for that particular type of nerdum at the time? You know, just
she was the face of Sideshow. She was everything that the current people at Sideshow are not.
Yeah.
She felt like she was one of us instead of an actor hired to do a job.
Yeah. So we're really excited about that. And so tune in and you'll get to know her a little bit better if you're not familiar with her. She's been out of the game for a couple years now, I guess. Maybe it's been longer than that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's awesome. So let's get to topic number one real quick. Some of these topics might not take a tremendous amount of time, but these were suggested in our Facebook group, Batman Statue Collector Brotherhood of the Bat Collectibles. I don't remember if I posted in Secret Sanctuary. I might have. I can't remember, but I need to do that more often. So your group can chime in also. But this is one of them. I thought it was a pretty good topic. So topic number one, Art 101, displaying, pairing, sourcing, framing, plus our most prized and most expensive. And so this doesn't necessarily have to be just about artwork. It can be about the statues also. But I'm going to rely a little bit more on Dan because I know he is, tends to get more of the art stuff. I know like Matt Martin and obviously CC, we mentioned her. There's a lot of art collectors out there. And so, where would somebody, I guess the question I'm going to ask is like, where would somebody start? Like if you wanted to get into art prints or original art or framing and that sort of thing. How did you get kind of started, Dan, with collecting art? Like do you remember your first piece that you ever got?
Ooh, first piece.
I'm assuming it was like an art print at a show or something.
Oh shoot, what was it? I'll just start with the Batman genre, right? So that's the easiest place to start. The one that pops to mind, and I could be wrong, is Alex Ross's Face of Villainy, that real tight shot of the Joker. That might have been the first like piece of art, like real art that I bought. But I was looking for art. I started looking for art to complement the statues, right? And just to create, more depth within my gallery, if you will. And when I say complement, it's because I wanted to see my favorite artists work on the walls. And so that's been my focus, and I continue to do that. So yeah, I mean, and there's a difference to go from, art prints to giclée on canvas. You kind of climb the cost ladder, if you will. Giclée on canvas, and then you go to sketches when you go to your favorite artist and you have sketches, and then you go to sketches that are inked, and then you go to comic book pages, actual original pages, like the one that you and I were talking about earlier, right there from Ivan Reyes.
And this is just pencil.
Yeah, that's just his pencils, by the way, are his long suit. He's really good penciler.
I mean, those are pencils, and this is ink. You can see the difference between.
Yeah.
And some people will ink themselves. Like this obviously was inked by David Finch.
Yeah. So you can climb the cost ladder as high as you want to go. And yeah. But again, Chris, though, like you've always talked about and preached with statues, it's about focus, right? That's the way that I've kept my sanity, is by focusing, right? So I only have certain artists. I have the artwork has to complement the statues because I want the two to work together. And dude, I would suggest, and I'll get off my stump here in 1 second, just this last point.
No, please keep stumping away.
Would be, and we talk about it a lot here. We say it in passing, and it's almost become cliche, but the whole collect what you love thing, like do it in a way that makes you happy. If putting art on the walls makes you happy, do it in a way that does. For me, I'm a real I like organization and feng shui, call it whatever you want. And it's my whole house. It's not just my collection, right? That's just kind of how I operate. So I found a way that not only am I looking for artwork that complements the statues, but I found a framing aesthetic that I really like. I like a black frame of a certain size. I like it black matted. Sometimes I'll do a sub matte that complements color within the piece. And that uniformity in my collection has made me very happy. I like the way that it looks. It doesn't look cluttered, et cetera, right? But do it in a way that makes you happy and do it consistently. And you won't be at odds with yourself all the time about, should I do this? Should I do that? You know? And I think the other piece to be at peace with the fact that you're going to run out of wall space, just like you're going to run out of shelf space. Right. So you have to make peace with that. And so I have a couple of portfolios. I'm sure people like CC probably has 5 portfolios
I
full
bet.
of artwork at least. But you know, I have my portfolios that I have one that it's full now. I have to get a second one that I keep my work that I don't want to part with, that I want to hold on to, that I might swap out sometime. But you know, just because it's flat space doesn't mean you're not going to run out of it. You're going to run out of it maybe easier than you do shelf space.
Well, just like you have to do with statues, a lot of times I feel like statues could get really cluttered and get like just it just looks bad in some cases. I feel like if you're just everything's on top of each other, and you could get the same way with art. You know, if you just you know you kind of we've talked for years about how we have a very similar aesthetic, the way we like things to be. Whether it is that way in my room right now, it's not, but it's like that's the way I want it to be. And I'm very nervous about the art part of it because I don't know how I can't do that. I'm not good at that. I know what I want, but I just can't get it to go. And so that's going to be the most difficult part for me. Placing the statues won't be bad at all for me, but the art part will. And but you have to be careful because you can get it. It could look very cluttered as well, depending on how you display the art on the wall.
I have ideas, by the way.
The what?
I have ideas for you.
Okay, I will take them all. I will take them all. You mentioned framing, and you turned me on to this company. It's called Art to Frame. Basically, there's different ways you can go about it on that website. You can do your own custom frame with your own custom mat. They also laser engrave, which is awesome. That's what I've done on a couple of mine as well. And then you can also do just custom mats. So if you already have the frames, you can do that. The laser engraving, though, it has to be at least 2 inches for it to work on their site. So depending on your frame size, you might not be able to do that. I've been playing because I need to buy like 5 or 6 11 by 17s for all the stuff I just bought. But it's really great because you can customize, and there's other sites as well. But how did you first hear about them? Oh, they're nearby, aren't they?
I heard about them from Eric, actually.
Oh, that's right. He's nearby Eric.
Yeah, they're in the Bronx. Their stuff is all made there in New York. They have their own factory. They do a great job, and there's a couple of things that lend themselves to our hobby about their frames. The frames are wood. They're a pressed wood. They're a manufactured wood, but they're well done. It's not cheap junk by any stretch. They're well wrapped. They're really nice, but they're lightweight. You can get whatever quality of plexi you want, but altogether the package that you get is a very lightweight quality package. And I suggest to folks all the time, I hang all my artwork with command strips, except for the Alex Ross canvases because they're extremely heavy and big. But 90% of my artwork I hang with command strips, 16-pound command strips. And it just lends itself to being able to swap the art out pretty easily if you want to, move it around pretty easily if you want to. And just makes it a lot more convenient than banging tons of holes in the wall and, you know, hanging with wire. And that's just brutal.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
You mentioned Alex Ross. Obviously, you know, if somebody wants to get into the more deluxe stuff, you know, whether it's not just prints and things, you can get canvas. You can get different materials, like you mentioned. I always say glycine, but it's G-clay. Thank you very much, G-clay. You can get those type of things, and obviously there's retailers like, you know, going directly from Alex Ross if you want something like that, or you know, like Choice Fine Art with Charles Carroza. those different places. There's also places like Mondo that does like these really great prints, kind of like more like kind of like posters.
Bottleneck,
which I think caused some controversy with Charles this week. Did you see that running dialogue?
No.
So with the Jim Lee piece, because because like Choice has the official right to create DC stuff, but then they're making the same thing that they had the image for. So it was interesting to follow that. So I don't know exactly how that ended up, but looked like they were not real happy about that. But
they weren't thrilled at all. Nope.
No.
When it comes to Alex Ross, I would caution people, or any artwork really, if you're looking on eBay, be extremely careful. There's a lot of counterfeits out there, guys. A lot.
Yeah. So go with your reputable. I mean, the people I bought from is Charles and Alex himself. So I feel pretty confident that those were the real deals. But if there are reprints and copies, and some people don't care. Some people don't care if it's a reprint or a copy. It's just, if the cheaper the better. And that's, it is what it is. You could do the same thing with statues or anything. You can get, bootleg or bottleneck, or not bottleneck. What's the word I'm looking for? Copies or whatever. But it is what it is.
Counterfeits.
Counterfeit. Thank you. Counterfeit. But yeah, be careful about that out there. And it's not just, art on the wall. Like, I know this guy right here, he collects a lot of like golden age comics. Do you display any of yours, or are they all just packed away? If not, have you ever thought about adding them to kind of complement your statues?
I've tried it a few times and I've never really liked the way it looked. So no, I don't display comics with my statues. I tend to go kind of on the cheap with my artwork. A lot of it is art prints. The two pieces you see over here, those are enlargements of comic books that I own. So there's that. I think I mentioned before, I like to do black and white prints behind my statues because it makes the statues stand out more. So you'll see that the one behind me, that's kind of a Metropolis art print. That was the background for my X-Men when I had them on that shelf. So it was more appropriate then than it is now. But I also have pretty shallow shelving. So I don't like to have frames that stick out from the wall. So very often I just get these posters that stick to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And they're very affordable. So like up there where I have Ivy and Huntress and Zatanna, that's a Joker playing card print behind them.
That's awesome.
So, and then of course I've got Spock behind Spock. So they're not framed, they're just stuck. The same thing with that desert scene behind Grogu. I used to have the Mandalorian there. That's why I had the desert scene. Those just stick to the wall. They're not framed at all. And then I have a few things framed. I've got a Galactus print from Sideshow, which I bought when I bought the Silver Surfer, and I no longer own the Silver Surfer, but I still have the Galactus print. And then I have a Alex Ross. It's not a limited. It's just like a poster of the Justice League.
Nice.
And then I love this. Not sure if I can show it or not here. Andy Park, Black Widow there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So I had him sign that at I think WonderCon one year. So yeah, I go on the cheap, but it's pretty attractive stuff. But I kind of have to redo everything because I've got Alex Ross JLA behind Marvel characters right now, and I got to change things up a little bit. But I don't put a lot of money into artwork. I have bought a few original art pieces over the years. I've sold most of them. The one I shouldn't have sold, and I told the group we met with in San Diego.
Yeah,
it's a 2-page Norm Brayfogle Batman piece, 2-page spread of the Joker in an old jalopy convertible with Batman swooping down to kick him in the head, from an issue of Detective Comics. And I bought that directly. I actually found a phone number from Norm Brayfogle like 25 years ago and called him directly and said, I need the day that I picked up that comic from my comic shop, I said, I need that 2-page spread. And he sold it to me for $250.
That's awesome.
Oh my God.
That's
It
awesome.
was a long time ago. But a year or two later, my local comic shop had a Golden Age book I really needed, so I traded it for that book. So yeah, I take a different approach. It's mostly more affordable stuff, but I try to make it match the statues and accentuate the statues as much as possible.
Well, and that's another thing about getting into art is that I think a lot of us, we've preached that if you have a focus or try to have a focus in your collection of some sort, whether it's Batman or movie characters or whatever it is, to try to narrow your focus a little bit, just to relieve some stress. But then you add the art component on top of it. That's a whole nother can of worms. So like Dan said at the beginning of this, it's like the whole point of the art to me is that it complements the statues, because that's, I mean, I think primarily we're statue collectors.
Yeah.
And then you add the art to complement it. However, sometimes, the CGCs could start taking over, or the original art could start taking over. And so that's my only thing, is that I am somebody that usually jumps off the deep end really deep, real fast. And so just be careful, kind of reel yourself in at times. That's helpful.
There are people, I see displays sometimes where people will have like a brick facade on their walls, and I think that looks fantastic with no artwork at all. Statues really pop in front of that. And then just the other day, I saw a collector who had purple walls, and all the statues in front of it looked fantastic with no artwork at all. So you can do other things to really make your statues pop.
Absolutely. And sometimes I feel like, and that's what I worry about with my new space, is I worry sometimes will the art or will the statues get lost, in the background, or and so I want them to be front and center. And so I do worry about that sometimes. But like you said, just a simple color wall or a gray wall or a brick wall or something like that, or even even if Dan had his wall back there with nothing on it, like that's still visually interesting with the shiplap. Looks great. It really does. But basically when it comes to, just kind of, when it comes to pairing, like Dan said earlier, display what you love, collect what you love. If it speaks to you, then by all means get it. It doesn't have to be super expensive. It can be simply something you buy it. Walmart has posters that are like the Batman posters, the Superman posters, or whatever. You can do that. You can get very affordable art prints. This was, if I remember, I think this was $20, to get Clayman's signature and art print. And spend another $10 to get this framed up. You can do it pretty affordable. They're out to get you somebody.
They're coming to take me away.
Yep, about time.
I didn't do it.
So hopefully that helps a little bit. Anything else you guys want to add about displaying? I think we mentioned some websites. If you're wanting to get into the original art, basically like the big name comic stores that represent a lot of the artists that you see at the Comic Cons, like Comic Sketch Art, some of those type of places, you can get a hold of those people, and they are like handlers for the artists. And if you want to do commissions, that's a great way to do it. You can also just go up to the table at conventions and ask. Sometimes they're able to do that, but the bigger names, they have a list ahead of time, and a lot of times they close that list pretty early. So you want to get on the list early if you're interested. And that's what I did with David Finch. I got on his commission list maybe 3 months ago or so. And so
there's also regular auctions from Heritage, Comic Link, Comic Connect, and they have original art. They've got, the kind of sketches you're talking about. And that's kind of nice because you're bidding against other people, so you're paying market value. Whereas when you buy a piece at a convention, I mean, from the artist, you're going to get a fair deal, you would assume. But if you're buying original art from a dealer at a convention, it could be very inflated prices. So auction is always a good option.
Bad Protocol says a lot of the artists sell directly from their stores. That's true. So you can go to Jason Fabok's website or David Finch or who, some artists are really good about updating them. Some are like really old and they don't have anything on there. So just go and check, do your research, do your homework. I've definitely had some growing pains in terms of, getting into that commission world, that original art world. I also talked to a collector when I was hanging out with Charles at San Diego. There was a collector there. And he's been dealing with original art for years, for decades. And he told me that the number one thing is to know who you're dealing with, know which companies are legit. Just like Dan said earlier, you know, when we talked about canvases, like go to the ones that you know you can trust. He said that there's a lot of booths at even San Diego Comic-Con that deal in copies that are fakes. And so he just said you have to know who you're dealing with, who are the reputable ones. So ask around. You know, again, we have a great community of collectors here, very knowledgeable people in terms of whether it's art prints or original art or statues or CGCs. You know, just ask in the group, and somebody will probably chime in the best they can. Most people are very, very helpful in terms of that. So I think that's all I can think about. Do you want to say your most prized or most expensive?
I'll let Dan do that.
That's a good question.
And let's just say art. I mean, let's not say statues. Let's just say art.
I would say I don't know if it's not necessarily the most expensive, but from a canvas standpoint, my wife bought for me at the 2014 San Diego Comic-Con that we went to. She bought Jim Lee's Batman over San Prospero, which on a canvas, just signed canvas, G-Clay on canvas, which is just awesome. I love that piece. That's definitely probably one of my prized canvas. And then from an original artwork standpoint, at this point, it's probably the original Liber Mejo that I have, the Batman bust of Liber Mejo. That's
awesome. Did you see mine?
I saw a picture of it. We haven't really talked about it, but that's incredible. And it's pencils, right? It's
pencil.
Pencils.
It's pencil. I'll have to,
that's really cool.
I think it's out in the hallway. I'll have to grab it. But
yeah, that's a really cool piece.
I told Bermejo, because I asked him if it was his. You know, I wanted to make sure it was legit, and it was. But I said, this is going to hold me over until I can get an actual one from you. And he said, absolutely. So I thought that was really cool.
You don't see them come up very often.
You do not.
At all.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to keep that relationship going as much as I can. So, and he was so cool to talk to. But I would say, like, my most expensive is obviously this. Way expensive. I think probably, I don't know. I'd probably have to say, at least right now, it's probably my Finch is probably the favorite art that's a commission. Also, I would say the Batman and the Gargoyles from Alex Ross.
Yeah.
I just love that painting. So, well,
It's
you know, you have it.
I do.
It's so good.
Can I tell a quick story that'll make you cry, Chris?
Oh, sure.
So, I promise 2 minutes. So that same San Diego 2014, I've told the story before, but this seems like a timely place to insert it in case anybody's forgotten, including you. So San Diego 2014, last day there, it was Sunday. I'm flipping through a bunch of CGCs. I bumped into, and I don't know what page number it is, but Detective 27, a page CGC'd from Detective 27. And it was the, Martha and Thomas Wayne. I don't even, but it was a significant page.
Yeah.
It was their death.
Yeah.
And it was $850.
Oh my God.
And my wife was begging me to buy it. She goes, if you want it, buy it. Because I had it, I really wanted it. And I just could not wrap my head around paying $850 for a page.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. $850. And I put it back down. It was like when the con first opened, so it was probably noontime or whatever it was when they opened. And I was kept going back and forth for like hours, and it was getting now toward the end of the day. And I went back just to look at it again, and I thought I might just flip over to buying this, and it was gone.
Oh no. Yeah, I got a million of those stories.
I bet you do.
Oh, I can't even imagine how many times you've thought of that.
Usually it's, oh, I really shouldn't have sold that book.
Yeah.
Those are my stories.
Yeah.
Well, and that's that's the thing about this book. I first contacted Jeff because I'm like, is this stupid? Is this a stupid purchase?
When I saw that you bought that, that's the first thing that crossed my mind was, I hope to God you called Jeff.
I did. Yeah. Yeah, just because I wasn't sure, and I found one that was like $2,000 cheaper.
Yep.
But it was not as good of color of a page. Like it was a darker color page and had a big piece of tape on it.
And the bottom right corner was missing.
Yeah, I was like, the corner was missing off the corner.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just kept going back and forth with this one, and I actually was able to buy this one outside of eBay, so that saved him the fees and it saved me the tax,
Right.
Which was great. He gave me his Instagram. But it was originally on eBay. I just kept going back and forth, and I feel like it was not necessarily your enabling, but your encouragement to say it is not stupid. It is an investment.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to go down in value. It's it's a key. It's an iconic, even though it's just a page. It's still a massive page.
Sure.
Are those pages, are they in the census?
Yeah.
They are. Huh?
Yeah. So if you look up Batman #1 and it starts at whatever the highest grade for Batman 1 is, probably a 9.4.
Yeah.
Go all the way down past 0.5, you'll get to where they list all the pages.
They do. Okay. So you could see, Chris, how many other page 2/3s they have on the census.
Yeah. We talked about that when we were discussing it.
You did? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a ton.
Probably not.
No. In fact, the one that he was thinking about, the one he did not buy, was actually in GP analysis. So we were able to see what that sold for last year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Versus what the guy was asking for it now. So got a good idea what the value is.
Good.
And it's just one of those things where, like I said in my video, it's like, I don't know how long I'll have it. I mean, I'm hoping I have it for a long time. It'd be really cool to be able to, pass this down because it's just so awesome. But I had to do it.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
And first appearance of the Joker, first printed image of him. So,
yep.
1940. It's pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Okay. Let's see. Did we talk about did you want to pass on the most expensive favorite art? Or I guess because, how about why don't you say your favorite CGC that you have? That's still art.
Favorite CGC.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's one of your World War II covers.
All right, I'll show you. I might have shown you this before, but give me 1 second.
Sure.
So this is the highest graded copy on the planet.
That's pretty awesome to say.
That's already impressive.
Highest grade copy on the planet.
Because it's an old book.
Yeah.
And it is Batman.
Oh, even
and it
better.
is World War II. All right, so this is Batman number 18, 9.4, with white pages. It's got Hitler, Hirohito, and Mussolini on the cover, and Batman and Robin are lighting firecrackers underneath their feet.
That's just unreal.
Love that yellow.
How does a book that old have white pages? That almost seems impossible.
Well, the amazing thing is that it's not part of a pedigree collection. Usually, for that kind of page quality, it's part of a pedigree collection. And, like the Mile High collection, if you haven't heard from it, that's Denver.
Yeah.
So Denver, Mile High City, has the perfect climate to protect paper products. So most of the books from that collection have white pages. This isn't a pedigree copy from any collection, so it's surprising that this one is as nice as it is.
I really enjoyed hearing that story from you at San Diego, by the way. That was really interesting.
So this one, when I was a young teenager, I actually bribed my older brother, because I didn't have a driver's license yet, to drive me to a comic shop in Garden Grove, just a couple of miles south of Disneyland. And we walked in, and they had a Batman 9 and a Batman 18 in their case. Wow. And the 18 was like an 8.5, something like that. But my brother, who hadn't bought comics in 10 years, bought it. And I just lusted after that book. forever and ever and ever. And eventually he ended up selling it back to the dealer he bought it from. This came up available from a friend of mine who owns a bunch of shops in Houston. He had a big Batman collection consigned to him from a collector in England. And I looked at this book and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford that. And my buddy, he knew my collection. He says, yeah, you can. I just need this book and that book and that book, and you can have this.
That's awesome.
And we worked out a deal. And so I have major nostalgia for this book because of what happened when I was a teenager.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. And it's just fun to have the best copy of an early Batman.
I love the yellow copies. Like you have the yellow copy there. You have the yellow copy behind you with the Superman cover. I just pulled this up. I've been talking to Athena Finger quite a bit this week, and I asked her if she collects any CGCs. And she said she don't have many, but this is the one that she has.
That's World's Finest number
37.
That sounds right.
1948. She had a 4.0, and she just loves this. And I was like, I love these yellow covers. They really pop. And obviously they were very popular at the time, but she's actually going to paint this. She's going to do a big painting for something.
That's cool.
So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just, you bringing that yellow cover, I just remind me of that conversation. I was like, I love these yellow covers. They're really neat.
So this would be hard for me to part with. This is probably the last comic I would part with.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a cool cover.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. Okay. Well, we'll wrap up that topic. We'll do topic 2. And this will just kind of be a short and sweet topic, but I thought it was still good. What are the things you look for that make or break your decision to finally purchase a piece? And of those things, which have you had to tweak? So basically, what is the final draw? Is it that if you love it, you'll buy it no matter what? Because there have been a lot of pieces lately that we've loved, but we've had to pass on because of shipping costs. You know, whenever you have a $1,300 statue that becomes a $2,000 statue, we've talked about that. What is it that makes it or breaks it for you? If you love it, are you going to try to make it happen? Or is it one of those things where space and finances really do kick in at this point? Because I feel like, you know, we are collectors that have a lot of really expensive stuff. So I think that for the most part, we try to make things work if we can. But where are you guys at right now? Where's your dipstick right now in terms of, you know, what is the make it or break for you?
Go for it, Dan.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. I mean, with the state of things and the state of pricing, and, you know, it's funny because value and price and all those parts of the equation have changed dramatically in the past couple of years.
100%.
Like, dramatically.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's not just, do I love it? I mean, sure, there are some pieces when you first see them, you're like, I got to have it. But I told him I'm in Arkham. Yeah.
Yeah. Arkham. Yeah. Thanks, Brad.
But that was a layup.
It was a layup. That's perfect.
You know, it's even if I love it, is it worth $2,000+ to me at this point? You know, does it hold that kind of value for me?
Right.
And, you know, unlike the primary world that Jeff circulates in of Golden Age comics, it's less likely to appreciate and value. If anything, you hope that it holds its value, right?
Yes. Right.
So it's just a different equation there, and you know, also it's more likely to break, right? It's not, you know, you're much more likely to break some little part of it or something, which then completely kills any chance you have of not even making money, but keeping value. So the value part of the equation's changed for me. I wouldn't have had the same answer a few years ago, whereas now that weighs more heavily on me. I want to be happy and feel good about the purchase, you know, overall. And even though I know a lot of us, we talk about, oh, well, we use the hobby to fund the hobby and it's not family. At the end of the day, I consider all my money my family's money. You know what I mean? Yes, it's the money I play with, this part of the checkbook or whatever, but I still want to feel good about it. And
sure.
That weighs more heavily. So I know it's a little bit of a, sorry about the deep answer there, but that piece weighs more heavily. I mean,
that's the thing is it is deep. I mean, that's the thing is we're to that point where I feel like this is a really good question, because I feel like I agree. A couple years ago, I'd be like, screw it. I'm just going to get it. I don't care. I'm just going to get it. I don't care. You know, if I'll figure out, make room, you know, blah, blah, blah. But now we're to a point where it's like, it is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider a third of the statue price is shipping or whatever. In some cases, like that's like, holy crap.
You're never getting that back, by the way.
No, never.
So that $1,400 statue that costs you $2,000 to get in your door, you're never getting the $600.
Good point.
And you have to look at the total cost. You know, my spreadsheet, Chris, that we always kind of tease about, you and I both spreadsheet. I don't know, Jeff, do you keep a spreadsheet of all your stuff?
I don't. I keep a photographic record.
A photograph.
Okay. All right.
So you're anal retentive too.
Yeah.
But in my spreadsheet, I make sure I include, you know, the shipping costs, and so I can see the total as to what I spent on that piece. Mm-hmm. Some of that's for insurance purposes, but some of it is just keep myself in check.
Yeah. How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, for me, it's like someone said in the chat, it's all about the wow factor. As you guys know, I freed myself up about a year ago to not have to worry about whether a piece is in a line I'm collecting or whether it fits in my collection. I'm looking at each piece individually in my display, which is why I've got Batman next to Swamp Thing and Red Sonja next to Spider-Man. And, you know, you're not looking at a cohesive collection so much as individual pieces. Mm-hmm. But because of that, you know, I picked up Rebel Terminator, which doesn't really fit, and I picked up Red Sonja, which doesn't really fit, but I love those pieces. Yeah. And so this morning, when I was thinking of what pieces I can list in Batman Statue Collectors Buy Sell Trade Group.
Thank you for the plug.
Which I have nine pieces listed there now.
Nice.
It did not include any of the pieces I picked up in the last year because I thought they were awesome and didn't fit in my collection because I still love those pieces. So yeah, price is a big deal. I don't really buy too much Prime 1, if any, but I have gotten into LBS. So, and those are in the price range that Dan's talking about.
By the way, every time you mention LBS, that bell rings.
Yeah, well, Angel just got its wings. So
Jay heard you talking about him. Ding.
Ding.
Mm-hmm, yep.
So yeah, that's certainly a consideration, but I've also kind of adopted a less is more attitude. So yes, I have the LBS Hulk coming in, but that's taking the space of like 4 quarter scale pieces.
Easy, yeah.
So I'm just going to have 4 less pieces in my collection to have this one wow piece in the corner of my display. And that's how I'm thinking of it now. I don't want to be limited anymore, but I also realize that means I have to make accommodations for larger pieces.
Well, I think that's, you know, just the natural progression where especially if you don't have a ton of space, you just have to make your tough choices sometimes. And it's not that you don't love the art. It's just that you might like this art more.
Yeah.
And that's it. Exactly. So the other part of it I wanted to ask is that as a collector, we're seeing, and it's because of oversaturation, but we're seeing a tremendous amount of low ES, which I would imagine makes a lot of collectors happy. Whereas, you know, now it's really difficult to sell a lot of times. You know, it's, you know, like Dan said, you're lucky if you retain the value without it going down. Do you think some of these things like what PCS is doing, or some of these low Prime 1 ESs or low Sideshow ESs, do you think that'll help a little bit in terms of getting people to buy or people being more excited about buying at this point? What do you guys think about these low ESs? Does it matter to you?
It matters to me from a resale point of view, but it doesn't seem to be helping as far as sales. You know, I still look at the PCS Blade Museum version that hasn't sold 75 of their Ultra exclusive. That seems weird to me. 75 is not a big number. So, yeah, I'm not sure it's helping the sellers all that much, although they're not stuck with as much stock as they would have if they'd gone with a higher ES, of course. I don't know. Maybe it's to be determined.
How about you, Dan? What does it matter to you? Like that new Ivy. You have that Ivy. There's a ES a 200 on her. Does buying her make you think, man, I will have no trouble selling this if I ever want to sell her?
I mean, Monday morning quarterback. Yeah.
Sure.
I didn't know it when I PO'd it.
Right. Yeah, none of us did. It was crazy.
So I felt like there was a real high value factor for me there. Like it fit really well. I need an Ivy for my collection. I love the aesthetic of that Ivy, right? The style of her. We talked a little bit off air before we came on the show. I mean, I'm a sucker for the pinup style, and it's a very classic poison ivy. I just like the whole thing all the way around, and Sideshow delivers all that at a very attractive price. She's not for peak, so shipping's not going to be nuts. I might actually own that statue all in for under $1,000. Wow, go figure, right?
Right.
So with that one, I didn't hesitate at all. I felt like that was real good. But like Jeff was saying about, taking a less is more kind of approach, I've definitely been doing that as well.
Yeah, I think especially if you've been in the game for a long time, I think there was a time 5, 6, 7 years ago where everybody was just buying everything.
Oh, yeah.
But there was also a lot less available at that time. I mean, Sideshow is really the only one in the game. And whenever there was a premium format, that's what people went for. If there was like 10 or 15 premium formats a year, people bought 10 or 15 premium formats, depending on the genre they were collecting. But now we have 1 million statues out there, the same character. And so people are more choosy, which I think you have to be. And like somebody mentioned earlier, that wow factor, if you have something that's a wow to you and stands out for you and you can afford it, or, if you can make a payment plan or whatever, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm probably a bad example because I tend to buy quite a bit. But I've also sold a lot recently. I've gotten, rid of a lot of things that I just didn't have room for. I had doubles of. So I don't know. That's kind of where to me, it has to have a wow factor and I have to be excited about it. If I'm not excited about it, it's an easy pass for me.
Yep.
And I've been guilty of ordering things like, that wane over time. Like I was really excited about that Catwoman on Batpod and I sold her. I was, thinking about 3 or 4 more life-size busts and I decided not to do that. So, it changes over time and you have to be selective, but I think at the end of the day, you have to be in love with the piece to spend $2,000 on it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say about that, or you want to go to photos?
So let's go to photos.
Sorry, Jeff, just one more quick question for you, Chris, on that point, because you're a collector who, in so much as you've talked both in the Facebook group as well as on the show about maybe reconstituting your quarter scale Batman surrounded by his villains diorama.
Yes.
You always characterize yourself as a 1/3 collector. You're primarily a 1/3 collector. Have the things that we've just been talking about, have they changed your point of view with respect to that? Because 1/3 to me would be one of a scale that is being highly influenced by all those things.
So I would say yes and no. 1/3 is still my favorite scale. I love the presence of them.
Mm-hmm.
If they were still all $1,000, I would be really happy because they started out at 900. They got me hooked at 900.
Yep.
And Prime One was really smart about that, which is why I'm telling Jay, you got to start out small.
Yep.
Sell Batman at a really good price. And so they obviously got me hooked with the Arkham line. They were the only ones doing a 3rd scale. So they got me hooked. I sold that entire line. I got them all back. And guess what? Most of them are going to be the first to go if I need them to go. Because I'm going to have plenty of room. And that's something I worry about is like, well, I'm going to have this big room. Is it going to look very good if I don't fill it? And so, but then when it's full, then I'm like, well, crap, now it's full. Now what do I do? So I'm kind of at that as I'm getting ready to move into the bunker. I still prefer 3rd scale. And it's kind of, I don't know, financially, it's kind of nice to hear that Prime One's going to do less, maybe, because then it's like, well, then I don't have to worry so much about the wallet. But then here comes Jay. And he says, hey, I'm going to do all of these DC villains that have never been done, like Clayface and Ra's al Ghul. And I said, I'm all in. and that means that my wallet is going to be crying. But at the end of the day, if I have to replace my Arkham line with that line, I will.
Well, but the other factor for you has to be that Sideshow's pretty exciting with their quarter scale rogues right now.
They are. And even Prime 1 going to quarter scale, I love what they're doing. But again, that Batcave, $2 or $3 grand.
Yep.
So you're paying third scale prices for quarter scale stuff, although they are larger dioramas, which is great. That I'm nervous about that Killer Croc versus Batman price. Because I think it's going to be I bet you that's going to be the same price as the current Batman versus Joker diorama in third scale. I bet it'll be real similar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still collecting third scale as much as I can, but at the end of the day, I am kind of excited that there's kind of a resurgence of quarter scale a little bit. I love that Sideshow's doing some more characters. I'm hoping that the Penguin sales are giving them confidence to do a Riddler or somebody like that. Because I love the idea of putting that collection back together. And I think that some of the quarter scale stuff is really, really exciting, especially what Prime 1's doing. But I still consider myself primarily a third scale collector, but at this point, third scale and quarter scale are my focus.
Gotcha.
I'm actually more excited about Sideshow, to be honest. From an artistic point of view, looking at that Penguin, that Joker, that new Ivy.
Yeah.
They're really stretching a little bit.
Yep.
Whereas I think we kind of talked about off camera recently, at least in my point of view, a lot of the Prime 1 stuff looks similar to each other. There's a lot of Fabok portraits on Batman over and over and over again. Whereas we're seeing something new and fresh from Sideshow that we haven't seen before.
And I mentioned that to Prime 1.
Oh, you
we had
did?
that conversation. I mentioned that, and they're real happy with what they've been doing. And that's great. They found a Batman look that they like, but at the same time, I feel like there's a good chance they're shooting themselves in the foot. As a collector of comic books, or as a collector of the comic book art that Prime 1's doing, which I love that they do that, because Sideshow, they do their own thing. They don't do anything based on art for the most part.
Right.
They've done some art germ stuff, but other than that, they've pretty much done their own thing, their own representation of the character. Whereas Prime 1, if you have, a Batman Damned, they do a Batman Damned,
Yeah.
And so I like that they do that, but I feel like if I would like to see them do more. I'd like to see them do an Alex Ross. I'd like to see them do a Capullo. I'd like to see them do Neil Adams. Like, that would be really neat if they branched out a little bit and still stuck with their comic book thing, but didn't give us 17 Jason Fabok portraits.
Right.
So I do think that they're shooting themselves in the foot a little bit, especially at this price point. If they want to sell more, maybe branch out a little bit.
Yep.
But that's just me. All right. Give a shout out to Emmanuel. He just did a review for the channel here. You have to upload it on the Legendary Beast Magneto. Very, very cool piece. So that'll be coming. Let's get into photos. How about that?
For sure.
Sounds good.
Got some stuff to look at. Let me get rid of this. And we'll get back into this.
No ES on the collector edition of the new Ivy, huh?
Not yet.
I don't think so yet.
But that green sure went fast.
That went fast, yep.
Yes, it did. All right. Can you guys see the photos okay?
Yep.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So we'll start with this. It's not a great photo. It's blurry. I think it's just a screen grab. But we were just talking about Legendary Beast. What do you guys think of this?
I think, what other company does this? Showing you the entire line before the first one goes up for pre-order. That's
pretty
awesome.
Pretty incredible. Obviously, we've got Flash, we've got Green Lantern, we got Aquaman, Wonder Woman, which we've seen, Superman, which we've seen, Batman, which we've seen, and also a third scale Martian Manhunter. Very, very ambitious, very, very exciting. I absolutely could see this at the Sanctuary if you have room.
I'm thinking at least the Trinity.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not sure about the others yet because that's going to gobble up a ton of space.
Dan, where are you at with this Legendary Beast stuff? Where are you in at all?
I'm in on Batman.
Do you think you would do any villains?
What about Joker? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a possibility. I really liked what Jay showed. I want to see a little more, but I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see him painted.
Honestly, it kind of goes back to what we were just talking about a minute ago. Some of this is going to be determined by, okay, how can I acquire these statues? Is each one going to cost me $2,500 to get it in my door?
Right, right.
So some of that it'll be driven by that, be driven by my new space. How can I accommodate these guys? But I mean, I love what I'm seeing. That Wonder Woman's ridiculously good. Like,
she's so good.
Yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah,
I think
she's very, very popular. Again, this is a better render that we saw of the three of them together. I'm very excited about Batman, especially. But yeah, I could absolutely see this in Jeff's collection.
Yeah,
really cool. So we'll get back to those here in just a bit. They also revealed some renders. I actually got this render from Jay 6 or 7 months ago. But I love that kind of Capullo-esque head.
Oh, that's a direct Capullo head right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, these are some potential with the ha-ha-has in the background. Also, Delato, the look there. And then this actually stirred up some controversy with this particular piece, but imagine this is an add-on. It's very similar to the Sideshow art print, so I don't know if they'll tweak this or not. But I mean, how cool is it? Would an exclusive like this be where you just add on Harley?
Yep.
I mean, that's ambitious, and I would imagine would increase the cost quite a bit. But it's still really cool to see just kind of how creative he's being with these items. So I think that's really neat. This is from XM Studios. This is the Samurai Killer Croc. What do you guys think of this one? This one I kind of said a maybe in my hit or miss video. I'm just not sold on it. But especially Dan as a samurai collector, what do you think of this one?
I actually like it, but I really found myself agreeing with you on the colors. And you said something that really kind of hit home with me too, where you said, I'm sure there's some significance as to why the colors that were chosen. But yeah, the water's a weird color. The water should not be ocean colored. Well,
somebody mentioned in one of the comments, they said, well, this is Japan. It's surrounded by ocean. And so I thought, well, maybe that's what they're thinking.
Maybe.
But like, I don't associate ocean with Killer Croc.
That's the problem for me as well.
He's not an ocean character.
But I don't love the bright colors on him. The red, white, and blue, I don't get that. He's a dark, grimy, miserable character that lives in the sewers. He's not bright and colorful and well put together, and his belt matches his armbands and his.
Right. Yeah, he's a slimy dude.
Yeah.
I do think maybe if they like some of the blue areas, if they maybe made it black or like a gray, and I know that maybe they're looking for some bright colors. But I don't know. It's just.
I like his weapons. I like the armor that's on his right arm there. I don't particularly love whatever those round balls are that are on a rope around his chest. I'm sure that's some kind of traditional samurai or Japanese war thing, but I'm just unfamiliar with it.
I kind of liked the bandage portrait. I thought that was kind of neat.
I agree. I think that looks pretty cool.
I didn't love the mask. I probably wouldn't use that. This is going to be a pretty sizable piece. It'll be one of their big. I don't know if it'll be. It won't be as big as Penguin, but I think it would be probably around the size of Bane, give or take.
Bane's a really big piece, so
yeah. So I don't know. This one's really one of the first ones that I've thought, I don't love it.
Yeah. There are aspects of it I really like, though.
Yeah, I agree. I just feel like if maybe they tweak the colors, and I think Aang said that they were going to tweak the colors on some parts of it. I don't know what, but
yeah,
I just don't like the water. Water specifically. And again, I've said this a lot about XM photography. I hate the black background.
Mhm.
I feel like it doesn't do their products justice at all. Whenever you see this stuff in hand, so much better.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, kind of a wait and see for me. What was this? 1600, I think. If I remember right, I think 1600.
A lot of dough.
Oh, Jay's thinking about us again.
Yeah.
But the scales look cool. I thought that looks nicely painted.
Somehow statue companies always do a good job with the crocodile skin.
They do. They do a great job. So anyway, we'll kind of move on again. I think the portrait's fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't love the eyes on that last one, Chris. What's that? That
It's just yellow.
it doesn't look particularly well done, but it's just a prototype, so whatever.
Well, it'd be kind of neat if it had like a slit.
Something. I don't know. It just doesn't even look like it's that well painted.
Yeah.
But
Teeth look good.
teeth look really good.
Yeah, the teeth look nice.
Tongue looks good. Teeth look good. Skin looks awesome. I just think the eyes looks like a little shortcut on the eyes. But
So we've looked quite a bit at this. We'll kind of move on. Again, there's that red, white, and blue. I don't know. Just don't love that.
Jeff, are you getting the Sideshow Ivy, the new one?
I'm in the same spot as Chris. I have both versions currently on pre-order.
You
I've
do?
got the green one on this, and then I've got the one that you've got on pre-order as well.
Okay.
How'd you know that she was next, Dan?
Oh,
Look at that.
well, on my other tab here in my browser, I have Poison Ivy up, and I'm inches away from pressing go on her. I love the base on her. She's gorgeous, don't get me wrong. And I love the hand transformation thing.
Yeah, the hand's really cool.
That is super, super cool.
Yep.
But that
I
base,
like what this piece looks like from the back too. I mean, it
I
really,
bet you do.
it really deserves a turntable. It's just very well sculpted.
that right there, that picture kind of is selling me.
Yeah.
Look at
It's got a really nice flow to it. It's got some movement.
It does. It looks like that plant is kind of lifting her up, like I don't know. It's really cool. I might have to just PO this one.
Beautiful portrait on her. Again, she's got kind of that sort of leafy cabbage, motif to her bodice.
Yeah.
But again, I love the way that the plant's kind of engulfing her arm. I think that's really cool. She's got a stunning portrait. But again, the base, I think I've got some photos here. I think. Let's see. Yeah.
For me, this one is a different enough kind of, I don't know, depiction, if you will, of Poison Ivy that I could have this one in one part of my collection and the other one in another part of the collection.
And that's
about this. The hair's done really well. Her back is done really well.
Look at that. Yeah, the hair is exceptionally done. Wow.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, and like just like you said, I think I maybe even mentioned it to Jeff that I can see me having a classic one, maybe like on my desk.
Yeah.
And then this one with the rest of the rogues, because they're so different. I mean, they really are. But they're both so well done, and they're both really represent a really, great version of Ivy. Whether it's this particular one, so this was the flesh, and again, I definitely ordered it. I ordered mine day one. Again, there's some more detail on the base.
Is that you think that hair is polystone?
I would assume.
I would think so.
Super delicate. No, look at that.
I would assume.
Wow.
We'll find out, I guess. There's the lineup right there, kind of more of their modern stuff, and I think they all look great together.
They do. That's a great line.
So I'm excited to have all three in my collection, and then of course they did the green version as well, which I love, and I love that they did a different color base, like they did a different paint scheme on her. So the base is it's the same base, but it's just painted differently. And I like that they highlighted like there's paint on her knee to kind of give her depth. I don't love green ivy, but I think this one's also just as beautiful. But for me, I preferred the flesh.
I like them both.
I was to say that you can't go wrong either way. Obviously, she's already waitlisted, and waitlisted quickly. So people that jumped on her was, I think, very smart.
Yeah, it was only a few hours.
I mean, even her hair color is different.
Yeah, darker.
Yeah, very darker. The base is more muted in areas, but
They look
really
good
cool.
side by side, don't they?
I know. It's like you can get both. Like that's the
Yeah.
crazy thing. It's they both look so good. But yeah, Dan, I highly recommend this one for you.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And the best thing about mine is I think I got mine for free.
Wow.
Really?
I had enough points.
That's the best freaking part of it.
Yeah, I was real thrilled with that. This is more of like a photo of her at the con. This is, not the regular photography, but just a really cool piece. And I was surprised. I didn't see this one coming at all.
No, no one did.
Yeah.
The other one was what, 6 months ago?
Yeah, maybe not even that.
Yeah.
So anyway, the flesh and the green look great. We also got a teaser of Deathstroke. What do you guys think about this one?
Looks good to me.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been asking for.
Oh, I'm going to get this one.
You are going to get it?
I am.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Very dynamic.
Yeah.
I like it. The colors are nice. It'll be an interesting pop, but it's so much better than their original one that they came up with.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just so underscaled. And so this is going to be great.
Some people have commented they wish it was getting a little bit taller. That looks like it might be pretty short in stature.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe that's something you'd have to kind of put up on a riser. That's probably what I would do. I'd put it up on one of my clear risers.
Yeah.
Just to give him, because he needs to be towering over Batman. To me, like he needs to be up higher, kind of like the Scarecrow that I have from Sideshow. That one, I always feel like it needs to be up higher so you can see his face.
Yep.
It kind of look like he's kind of like his clawing down up at Batman. This is the same way I feel like you would want to have him up higher.
Yep.
But I love the sculpt. And then we also got this guy, which I think is really cool. It's definitely not your traditional Gotham by Gaslight look. I think that there's been some that are very comic accurate. But I really do like this one a lot. I think it's really fun. I love the posable grapple. I think that's really neat. The only thing that bothers me about it is it's just so short looking.
Yeah.
It's just like he's on this little dollhouse. I wish that they had really built him up like on a tower.
Yeah, it looks like a doghouse.
It does.
Oh man, I'm not going to be able to unsee that now.
There you go, Jeff. Just did it.
I'm not going to be able to unsee that.
Doghouse Batman.
That is Doghouse Batman.
Damn
you, Jeff Delaney.
I christened the Doghouse Batman.
That's Doghouse Batman. But like, don't you think it just would have benefited so much from a taller base?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it just kills me. I mean, I love the aesthetic of it. I love the flow of it. But
Ace the Bat Hound finally has a statue home.
Ace.
Oh, it's the damn Bat Doghouse. There it is.
Oh my God.
They could have some like Fido bones down here as an accessory.
Oh my God.
Oh man, not gonna be able to unsee that now.
Nope.
Well, I guess I'll be buying this one instead. But I do think it looks cool. I like Batman here. I think it's fun.
The reception for this piece has been pretty positive. Some people wish that it was a sculpted cape, but other than that, people like it.
And other than the fact it's got a doghouse base.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah. This was another one that was premiered at Sideshow Con. This is our Ghost Rider, brand new piece. People have not been real happy with the price on this one. I can't remember, was it
$1,100?
Yeah, for a quarter scale.
Yep.
It does have the two different portraits, and it is a larger piece. Obviously, it's got the bike.
No light up.
Yeah, no light up. What is your impression of that price, or just the piece in general?
Price is too high.
Yeah,
I think there's been a huge backlash about this piece. Some people, even among people who really like the piece, everyone hates the price. It just seems too high.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the ES ends up being.
It will.
It might be a very low ES.
Yeah.
But again, I think a lot of people are finally voicing their opinion with their wallets.
I think so too. It's also frustrating to me. That bike is not going to look anything like that.
Oh God, no.
They've really got that thing. Well, that's better. It might look like that, but that first image is just so lit up. It almost looks like
It's gonna look like that.
That's the way it's gonna look.
That's the way it looks in real life.
Yeah.
And that is not anywhere like this.
No.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like I mean, they do a great job with their lighting, great photography, but at the end of the day, like you have to know that this is what you're getting.
Yep.
For $1,100.
It's not like $1,100 to me.
No.
Especially when you compare it to those other really good Batman pieces that they're doing at $700. It's like, is this really $400 more?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, you're paying $400 for the bike. So, I mean, it's again, it's just,
you mean for half the bike?
Well, it's not even the whole bike.
Not even a half. Like you're getting the hint of what might be an engine, and I don't know, that does not. No, that doesn't do it for me.
So it's disappointing. I feel like I think the piece is cool, but I think that there are better ones out there at a better price point.
It's cool conceptually, and I think if they had priced this one like even
900. What do you think about 900
or something like that? God, they'd sell 2,000 of them. And they may sell at 1,100 for all I know, but
they might. But they just listen to feedback. It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's coming from Sideshow, I believe. It's already up for pre-order. It's still a cool piece. I think it's really neat, but it just seemed like it was a bit much for me. Again, this gives you a better idea of the paint.
Yep.
What do you think of this? This thing is crazy. So Dan, you own this art at one point.
I did.
This is a well, they're not. I don't think they're calling it a life-size bust, although I think it kind of is.
They are not divulging a scale, and when you look at the dimensions of it, it doesn't seem big enough to be life-size.
Oh, it was. Yeah, that's right. It was like more like half scale.
I can't tell. They don't talk about scale in the item description, and I just don't know.
It would certainly be an awesome accent piece if you've got an extensive like samurai line as a focus of your collection. It would look awesome somewhere in either at the center of it or off to one side on its own pedestal. Or if I was all in on samurai like I once was, this I could see having this.
This I feel like would be kind of a cool piece to have in that cove that goes into the Batcave.
Yeah.
For me, with having some art in there and then having something like this that you're just maybe not quite sure what it is. Just like a hint of what's to come. But it is a really cool piece. It's pretty ambitious.
It looks it. Yeah.
Because that art is so intricate.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
It's neat.
Is it like $800 or something?
I think it was closer to 1,000.
Was it really?
Yeah. We're getting this is just a render, but we're getting a new Red Sonja.
I want to see this whole thing. I really do.
I think she'll be very popular. All of those have been so good.
Well, they've all sold out. All three.
Yeah, they've not made a bad one yet.
Yeah. So yeah, this is going to be great, and I can't wait to see the whole thing.
It's awesome. I think their last one is my favorite one they've done. I love that one. But I think this one will be probably just as good.
Yeah, I'm looking at the one you're talking about, and it's.
Yes, you are. You have her.
I love it.
Yeah, she's so well done. That's like one of the main pieces that if I ever just bought like a one-off piece, that'd be the one I'd get because I think she's awesome.
Yeah.
This is the new Fairy Tale Fantasies piece that we saw at San Diego. This one got a lot of interest from people walking by.
She's awesome.
Yeah, big piece too. She's on the carpet.
I love the genie hand.
Yeah, it's really fun. Very bright. There's the genie hand right there, holding her up. But it was a fun piece. This line's been really good.
Super colorful piece. They're gonna sell a bunch of these.
Yeah, J. Scott Campbell. Obviously, this line's been really cool. Just really cool to see it in person there. I was glad that they had some of these on display. Yeah,
he was in what part of the Sideshow booth where that would normally be.
Yep, that's right. This is some stuff from PCS. We got the Ray quarter scale. These look pretty good in person, I thought.
Yep.
Quarter scale. Some more stuff from San Diego. This is that diorama 110 scale. This got some positives from the crowd.
That's super fun. I like that one a lot.
I thought some of the dioramas were really neat that they had on display there. Let's see. We'll jump to a Legendary Beast again. This is some photos of the color. Some people have really liked this. Some people hope they tweak the paint a little bit. What is your initial thoughts on the paint here?
My initial thoughts is that Jay probably shouldn't release cell phone pictures as our first look at a painted up statue.
100%.
I think that the art statue collector videos for Hulk and Iron Man did wonders for those pieces.
Yeah.
And I actually messaged Art and said, hey, are you getting Superman? And he said, no, Jay's sending him Batman and the Joker, but not Superman. So I would like to see better pictures of him. This particular portrait looks good to me. And there is another Alex Ross portrait where he's not looking up. He's looking more straight ahead. And that might end up being the best one for me.
Yeah.
These pictures just don't do the piece justice. Some people think that his legs look too stubby, and they kind of do, but I think that's the pictures. So we need better pictures of Superman.
Yeah, some people just thought they're just too thick in the lower half.
Yeah.
Does the cape look short?
Some people have said that too.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Hopefully they'll continue to release photos and maybe listen. I mean, I know Jay does listen to feedback. So,
and one thing that bothers some folks, and I mentioned it to Jay before he did the reveal, but it was too late to make any changes, is that Superman and Batman's capes are blowing in opposite directions. And it would have been nice if they were blowing in the same direction.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yep. Yeah, that is a good point. Speaking again of Legendary Beast, these photos come from Sick Mansion. These are renders of the Wonder Woman.
Sold.
Again, yeah, I was going to say these will do very well. A lot of people are probably more excited about her. I've just heard a ton of positives.
So I said this on your show Saturday, and I'm going to repeat it. If you want this piece, do not hesitate when it goes up for pre-order. Jay is not going to make the edition size high on this piece. If you want it, order it.
I concur. A lot of different looks, different armor. So really cool.
Yeah, that armor will be in the ultimate version.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is a photo. I think maybe you took this one. I can't remember.
Yeah.
This is a Shredder. I didn't get to see this in person. I think they put it on Saturday, maybe.
Yep.
But this is the alternate portrait, which I thought was cool. Love that Shredder. I thought it was really awesome.
It's a great piece.
Alternate portrait on Candyman.
Yep.
That looks
great.
great.
I think it was on Saturday. He switched out some portraits.
Yeah, it's cool that he did that. And there's the regular portrait.
Mm-hmm.
And then RoboCop. These look great.
And he added a second base for this if you order directly from PCS.
It was really cool.
Street base.
I really liked the paint applications.
I did too. It kind of has a glimmer effect that's really neat under light.
Yeah. It looks really good. I had Blade on display there as well.
Blade looked really good.
A lot of interest for him.
He's one where he doesn't really belong in my collection, but boy, I sure like it. So it's I keep looking at it.
He's fun.
He really is. It's a very well done piece.
Well, he does fit your collection. Just he's got the movie motif, so
yeah, that's true.
You could fit him in.
Yeah, he doesn't take up too much space.
Yeah, pretty low profile on him.
Most of my movie pieces are quarter scale, though.
That's true. This is the third scale Storm. I think I got some photos out of order here. This is the Blitzway Superman. Very hard to photograph because of the lighting.
Yeah.
We talked about that there, about shadow and things like that. So I wasn't all that impressed in person. But maybe under the right lighting conditions, I feel like this is the best portrait of him.
Yeah, the lighting was harsh.
Yeah, really, really bad.
in that booth. Lighting was pretty good for PCS, and this looked awesome to me.
Yeah, it was bad lighting.
Yeah.
This is the Weta that you loved.
Yeah, I really like this a lot. Fully sculpted, quarter scale, great base with
the base is crazy.
Dead things reaching up to him, grabbing at his pants. It's really cool.
Good likeness of Cavill.
Yeah, and that's up for PO now.
This one was also at the Weta area, and people haven't been there. They're like, well, they obviously didn't get the likenesses for or the likeness rights for these statues. And in person, they didn't really look like the characters. I mean, Batman was the closest to me.
Yes, I agree.
But it's still a cool diorama. But it's
they're 1/6, right?
Yeah, 1/6. 1/6.
Yeah.
All right, back to Storm. Sorry, I messed that up. But we got Storm. She was way better in person.
Yeah, she looked really good
to me.
And if you look at the detail on the part that connects, look at that.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy.
There's some great texture there.
Yeah, it's really well done. And again, it just looks so much better in person than it does in photographs, I think. This is that crazy half-scale Akuma. This thing was insane.
Yeah. And that's reasonably priced.
I was going to say, I can't believe the price on it.
Yeah.
They just added this week after listening to feedback, I guess.
Yep.
So they didn't have that on there before, so that's on his back.
Interesting.
But again, the really cool detail. And again, this thing is just super massive. The base on it alone, really pretty cool what he's standing on. Now, they didn't have him on something there at San Diego. They just had him on these 2 head stumps.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's the way it'll actually be. I'm assuming.
Yeah, just on the 2 head stumps. The rest is just for the picture.
Okay. But that's really cool. Again, he's just massive. It's really a neat piece. This was the photo from the con.
You can tell my pictures because they're all potential thumbnail pictures because I've left space on the right. For
Yeah, there you go. I like the way you think, sir.
That's funny.
Here you get an idea of the size of him.
Yeah, 42 inches.
Yeah, big fella. But he's cool. Hot Toys suddenly all of a sudden, tackling the InArt game by doing a lot of new characters with the rooted hair. So obviously, I think maybe InArt might have made an impact here a little bit. So we got a brand new Joker. And they're calling it the Artisan Edition. I think he looks pretty good here.
Heath would have loved how much hair they gave him.
Yeah.
That's the thing about all these Jokers is like, I don't know why they can't get that right.
I don't either.
He's got the thinnest hair on the planet. He's losing his hair. It's stringy. It's greasy. That's not stringy or greasy.
No. Or thin.
Yeah.
He's
even like, I don't know if you can see that on my camera. I know it's small, but like even mine back there, it's like, it's a little too thick, but at least it looks way greasier.
Yeah.
Than this.
Yeah.
And I know we're talking 6 scale, so it's a lot smaller, but still.
Right.
Tailoring looks nice. And they're calling it wool hair implantation. So it's not rooted, it's just glued on. So maybe you could just pull out your own hair. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was, and you also noticed that it's got the magnetic base like InArt did.
Oh, yeah.
Where it doesn't have a stand. So. And then they also have the non-rooted hair with the sculpted hair. And a couple different portraits. With one with kind of the tongue there. Which I think the tongue doesn't look like the color's right. Kind of orange, but.
I kind of like the sculpted hair better. It looks kind of greasy.
I like it better too.
Yep.
But I do think that looks really good right there.
Yeah.
Big face looks good. Yeah.
So anyway, that's coming out from Hot Toys. Again, magnetic base. And they also are doing the same thing with the Anakin Skywalker, which I think that portrait's fantastic.
Yep.
That is.
But they're doing the real hair. So definitely taking on InArt with some of these with this new series. But I think it looks really good. So for you Star Wars collectors out there. We're also getting a Peter Parker in black suit. This one looked pretty awesome. I guess it's like Iron Spider, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
For you 6-scale collectors out there, it's a pretty cool diorama. I mean, it has a really cool presence to it, I thought. They also had some stuff on display at one of their recent gallery tours. Had the Flash. And there's that Joker we just looked at under more like regular conditions. And a classic Iron Man.
Yeah, that's cool.
6-scale. They premiered him at Sideshow Con. And they also had a new Tony Stark.
That's good.
I thought that was good. And this one I thought was really great.
That's funny.
Really good likeness on it. Big piece too. And there's Anakin and different Jokers. And then there's Spider-Man. And then they had the Dewback and the Stormtrooper. I thought that was pretty cool. I think they had that one at Sideshow Con. Barry.
That's great.
I thought that was a really good likeness on Keanu.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it looks really good. There's that Tony Stark again. Assuming Iron Man 2. Some of these photos are from Justin's collections. Here's a couple photos I took of this piece from PCS. I thought she was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, right? Morgan,
yeah.
Yeah. I really liked her. I thought she was great. She kind of sticks out funny, like the base is kind of weirdly deep.
Well, she's stepping off, so she's only connected with one foot.
So it obviously to counterbalance, it's going to be a little bit of depth, but it was a fun piece. I liked it a lot. Look at that portrait. I think it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And there's different varieties. So they have this paint right here. And then also this paint. Or is that the same? That one's the same. I'm sorry. This is the different paint. Sorry. That's the different one. So that's an exclusive from PCS.
You can't get one. You got to get both.
I guess so. I mean, they're both so different. I mean, really, the colors.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get to see that angle at San Diego. It's cool with the bats. Could be a Batman base. It's like, so how do I make this into Talia al Ghul? I was just joking.
I think you need an entire collection of female statues made into Talia al Ghul.
That's right. I haven't bit the bullet on any of them yet, so we'll see. I guess Vampirilla is the closest I'm going to get. What do you think of this one in person? This one was crazy.
You know what? It got a lot of attention. It got a lot of praise. I can understand the complexity to it, but it's just not my cup of tea.
I think the thing that sucks about it is it's got so much good that you're going to miss so much because most collectors aren't going to be able to put it on a turntable or something.
Right.
And it's just got so much going on. And it's really cool, but I just feel like so much is going to be missed.
I just wonder if is there too much going on?
Yeah. because you have over here you got the Carnage, the much larger Carnage coming out, and then you got the smaller versions on the back. It's just a lot. It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
What was your impression, Dan, of this one?
I thought it looked great, and I thought it was even more impressive. I think it was Jeff that I heard you talk about the price associated with. That's a lot of detail.
Yeah.
I guess my question, I mean, you guys saw it in person. Are the Spider-Man, are they really tiny? Like how? They must be really small, right?
Pretty tiny.
Yeah, they are. So you got what, 3 different scales going on here?
At least.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I mean, I don't even think the Spider-Mans are 10 scale.
Wow.
Maybe a little smaller than 10 scale, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe 12. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. This was shown at the DC booth.
This is fun.
Obviously, based on the iconic cover of Superman.
Action number 1.
That's right. But I thought it was pretty cool too.
Stewart chimed in. He said, "Hey, those boots are too high."
He would know.
The boots on Action 1 were pretty short.
Maybe that's something they could tweak. I don't know if they'll listen to us or not, but is this McFarlane?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're doing the Superman, and then they're also doing this crazy Batman, which I somehow completely missed. I didn't even go to that booth, but it's pretty crazy looking.
It is.
This is the perfect example of why Edna Mode in The Incredibles says no capes.
No capes. Yeah. That's not a cape to manage.
This is InArt. InArt had a recent display of some of their stuff. I think this looks incredible.
It does look good.
Henry Cavill.
I don't know if that's the portrait I want in my collection, but
yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if you'd want an angry one, but at least it's not the black suit.
There's a non-angry one.
There is.
Yeah.
Got the Dune.
He
looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks good.
Michael Jackson from InArt.
Also good.
Yeah.
So Jeff and I got to see this prototype in person. They didn't have it on display, but John showed us, and it looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Gandalf.
It's small though.
Yeah, very small. Portrait on Pattinson. Bruce Wayne.
Looks good.
That looks good there. Yeah.
See, I've been really impressed with what they've been able to do, just right out of the gate. That looks fantastic to me. They've got some incredible artists. Batman there. And they have the bat signal on display there as well. Pennywise. I think that'll be popular for them.
That's creepy.
Yeah, a lot of fans. And then I guess you could say this is creepy or not creepy, depending on how you're looking at it, but little Harry Potter. Looks good to me.
It looks really good.
Good likeness on him.
Yeah.
No, more creepy. I guess a lot of creepy. But the tailoring looks really good.
Yep.
And then the Lord of the Rings, that looks good too, I thought.
That's crazy right there.
Yeah. So good. This was a new Witchblade that XM debuted. What was your impression of this one? I feel like she kind of came out of nowhere.
No, she's been expected.
Oh, has she been? I guess I just haven't seen her maybe.
She's part of that Divine Studios line.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And yeah, they showed me renders of this a while back, and I recommended an alternate portrait with a little bit more emotion. And they're sticking with this single portrait.
I tell you,
yeah,
XM, the female portraits, they've really been hit or miss. I feel like a lot of people haven't been liking them. I feel like kind of expressionless. And I know that was it the Wonder Woman they went back and retweaked?
Yeah. I mean, this is Divine Studios. They're just distributed through XM.
Oh, so XM doesn't sculpt it.
No. So yeah, and I liked the portraits on their two previous pieces.
Yeah, Angelus is phenomenal.
Yeah, but this one, to me, I think it's beautiful, but I would have liked some kind of emotion. But the piece overall has been well received. I've seen a number of people kind of make the same comment I did about the portrait, but overall, I think this is going to do well for them.
I still think she's stunning, but
yeah,
I agree with you on the portrait. I feel like it could have been some expression.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. The texture is cool.
Yep.
Here's Jesus. This is from the new company that we got to see at San Diego.
Syndicate.
This was really well done. Yeah, Syndicate.
Yeah, it is well done. 2 different scales.
It's neat. I think this one was painted by Ed Bradley. Which is cool. They also had Ash.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was really good too.
People like this piece quite a bit.
Good likeness.
Yeah.
Had a nice paint application on him as well. But this was this 3rd scale? I think I felt like it was.
I think so. There was also a smaller one. Yeah, there's a smaller one too. It was right next to it.
Quarter.
There you go. Yeah.
This is quarter. But I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
This was I never saw this one. They must have put her out after I left.
They did.
Quarter scale, right? Ahsoka Tano?
Yeah, so this would go with their quarter scale Mandalorian.
What do you think of her in person?
I don't like it as much as the Sideshow. I don't think the likeness is as good as Sideshow. And Sideshow went fabric on the pants. And because they did that, they were able to do a really cool pattern on the pants. Whereas on this sculpted version, they're just black.
Yeah.
So it's just a less interesting interpretation of the character, I think, than what Sideshow did.
I love what Sideshow did way more.
Yeah, I do for sure. And there's no light up on this one either.
Okay. The Iron Studios booth was fun. It was about half the size as last year, but it was still cool to see a lot of I always like to see displays like this. And I just thank them for coming. It was really cool to be able to have them represented.
Yep.
When others were gone. Obviously, this was that the weenie I was talking about, draw you in. What was this, $30,000, something like that?
60.
No, never mind. Gee, Merry Christmas.
$60,000?
Because it has real jewels on it.
Yeah, they're real jewels, and they're only making 5.
Gotcha.
How many do you think they'll sell?
No idea.
They have the Batman. This is a 1/10 scale that they've shrunk down from the 3rd scale, so I thought that was interesting.
It's cool.
This is that one we looked at earlier. It was really cool in person. They shrunk down the Darth Vader as well, so that quarter scale Vader is also going to be in 10 scale. They shrunk down the Superman versus Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
That one got a lot of attention. This was Ledger's favorite of the show. They had all 4 members of KISS, and 2 of them are already up for pre-order at Sideshow. But this was a fun diorama.
It was.
Looked really good. Original lineup, of course. Peter Criss. Back there on drums. Paul Stanley. Jurassic Park diorama I thought was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hatching the eggs. That's 10th scale Obi-Wan on display there. They had some Disney stuff, The Little Mermaid, and then they also had the Pinocchio, which I thought was fun.
Yep.
Just rode that last week at Disneyland. They also had the RoboCop. This was kind of cool. It's kind of weird with the cut-off car, but I thought it was still kind of cool.
Yeah.
Vecna from Stranger Things. I liked him. I wasn't as impressed with the other piece. Had a couple flash pieces there as well. This got a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm.
This was a fun piece. That's there's the jewels. The real jewels. But yeah, 60 grand. Crazy.
I'll take it.
Sure. Take two. Batman. That was 10 scale. Here's some more photos of her. I thought I had a couple more. But this was a really big piece.
Yeah.
It looks it.
Yeah, it's 10 scale, but it was really cool. A lot of people really liked it. It was fun. This is the new Chun-Li. Can't remember.
I like that face.
Yeah, it's cute. I can't remember who makes this one. It wasn't Kotobukiya, it was somebody else. I like that one. This is from J&D. They've listened to feedback and tweaked the face. I do think it looks better. It's a little wider.
It does look better.
I still feel like it's maybe not quite 100% there, but I feel like it's a lot better than what they released originally. Definitely filled out the face a little bit more.
The lighting is better too. The picture on the left, he looks so sickly.
Yeah, it's a good point. He has some color in his face. So I'm glad that they're tweaking it because I do feel like they're close. So J&D fans, this is one that was on display at Sideshow. That if I had gone, I kicked myself for not being able to see this in person. This is the life-size Christian Bale. I feel like the hair is not great. Even in one of their streams or one of the coverage, they talked about him having helmet hair, which I thought was funny. It's like, yeah, if you took your cowl off, you'd have helmet hair too. Like, I thought it was funny. They kind of went with it. I feel like the likeness is pretty good.
To George Bush or to
George Bush.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's such a cool piece. I hope they get it right with the hair.
I do too. I think they'll tweak it.
It's so awesome. I mean,
it's just this will be the other one I get if they can get it right.
Yeah,
I think it would be cool to have him and Joker on both sides.
Yeah,
and call it good.
And you know what's funny is that the hair that's on him it's wavy, and his hair is not wavy. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's just very strange.
Yeah, just very strange. It just looks odd.
Because the other pieces they've done has been really good.
Yeah. That's what makes me think they're gonna get it right.
Yeah, I mean, Queen Studios has had some issues with their hair, but Infinity really hasn't. So we'll see. But I like what I'm seeing so far. It looks good. I mentioned that my Batman Triumphant is shipping and Penguin has started to ship. Look how much bigger they are compared to Joker and Punchline. And Joker and Punchline are big.
I saw this picture somewhere in one of the groups, and I thought it has to be that that base on Penguin is much further forward. Like that whole setup is just closer to us than the other, because that Joker is pretty big, right? That Joker, I mean, she's really tall.
Yeah.
How can he be that much taller?
Well, my shipping for Batman was $500. So it's 2 boxes. So it makes me think that base on him is massive in itself. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy to see these side by side like this.
Insane.
Here's some in-hand photos of Penguin. Again, I think he looks great. He's got that real cut and sew coat. I'm really excited to get this one. There's kind of the Fabok portrait. This is the Arkham portrait. And the kind of Danny DeVito type portrait. And the kind of the classic comic book portrait. But can't wait for this one. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Umbrella can open and close. That's what XM should have done with theirs. Or maybe theirs can open and close. I can't remember on their Penguin. But he looks cool.
Yep, definitely.
This is a McFarlane, what was the black and white series. This is a Capullo piece that just released. But it's okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's not bad. Maybe not the best photos either, but I at least wanted to include them because I thought it was kind of neat. Here's an image of the third scale Catwoman next to a third scale Batman that Dan's getting.
Yep.
Gives you a little bit of an idea on scale. Still feel like a little undersized, but God, it comes in a crate.
Does it really?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like a full crate.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Full shipping price.
Yeah. Craziness. This is that same Thanos. This is the 10 scale. So it comes in two different versions. You have the one with the larger base like this. A couple different portraits, or this base. I'm assuming this one's a little more affordable.
Yeah.
But it's still a big 10 scale. That's fun. Just wanted to share it with everybody. So Tweeterhead is running a sale right now where if you order, it was supposed to be by this week, you got $50 off. They're extending it by 1 week. They're almost sold out. I think that they had less than 30, I think, at this point. So if you want $50 off instead of the 25, this one is only available at tweeterhead.com. It's the blue version. It's my favorite version of the two. And so if you want to get $50 off, you have basically till the end of this week to get that purchased, again, at Tweeterhead directly. And they also teased our Catwoman as well. So if you hadn't seen that, gives you an idea of the pose on her. And it will kind of match with the Batman's base. It also does come with the long ear and short ear. I just saw this one today. This one's from McFarlane. This is kind of a cool variant. Did you see this one, Dan?
No, I hadn't seen this. That's fun.
It's like purple.
Yeah.
And it's got the Joker paint.
Vandalized.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
With the purple and the ha-has.
Yeah, that's fun.
All right. That is well over 200 photos. We just buzzed through. Any must-haves? Obviously, I think probably Jeff's is probably going to be those legendary beast ones.
Certainly the Wonder Woman, that's for sure.
I say Batman and most likely Joker for me. I really like the one with his hat and the cane.
Yeah.
Same for you, Dan. I mean, I know you mentioned Batman.
Yeah, Batman for me. I tell you what, if this, if when we see pictures, if that Superman comes out really good, there's a potential for me to get that Trinity. If I've got the space and that Superman comes out really good, I could potentially, that could be my first, foray into the Justice League. I just too good to pass up.
This new display space of yours might open up a whole new can of worms for you.
It could be a whole can of worms. Yeah.
Especially if maybe you get the whole basement.
There's no basement.
No, there's no basement. Well, that's right. You said slab.
Slabs there. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, come to Kansas. We got all the basements you can need.
Come to Kansas.
Wife could be upstairs. She could have all upstairs.
A couple of the homes we've looked at had storm shelters.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. Which I thought was kind of how very
you do have to put up with tornadoes here in the Midwest, though. That's the only downside.
Yeah. And
it's really hot and gets really cold. So, but you do get real true seasons here.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you do probably where you're at as well.
Here, right here we do, but where we're going, we don't.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'll be very different. It'll be different.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to discuss before I'm sure Mr. Delaney wants to go eat some supper?
Yep. And I'm going to bed.
Nice. I'm debating whether I should go start painting, but I don't think I have it.
Nah,
That's ambitious, man. Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it.
I just want to get it done so bad. Like I just want to get it done.
yeah, I can understand that.
But anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. And again, if you would do me a favor and hit the like button on the way out, that really helps us out. Thank you for the super chats earlier as well. And again, just thank you guys for tuning in, hanging out with us on a Wednesday night. We really appreciate it very, very much. Please check out Secret Sanctuary. A lot of great con footage. If you haven't checked out those videos, please do me a favor and do that. Definitely subscribe to Dan's Only Dan's. He needs the money for the move, so get that going. I think we already got a photo this week of Eric for the calendar, so that's going to be that's going to be exciting. So stay tuned for the Rogues calendar. It's coming out at Christmas time this year, so we'll see how
that is not really happening, people.
Oh, well, hey, you never know. You know, if the demand's there, you never know.
It is the source of infinite humor, but it's not happening.
Between the calendar and the Only Dance channel, my wife is just having a field day right now. So.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's funny.
Well, anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time right here in the Bat Cave. Bye, everybody. Bye. Thanks for watching.
See y'all.
Bye.